people think of you a certain way. Your brand or your reputation, you have it if you've done it explicitly or not. There was this frustration, primarily coming from parents and board members when they were talking to people outside our immediate community, feeling that we were misunderstood. We're a progressive school with a sort of amazing track record, but also an emphasis on the arts, and surrounded by, in some ways, more conservative schools in terms of curriculum, in terms of traditions, and sometimes being inferiorly compared to them, that you go to Crane to be happy, you go to Crane for creativity, but if you want hardcore academics, you go elsewhere. On a more sort of tangible level, we wanted a deeper bench for admissions. We wanted more applicants, potentially to be more selective, and to be at sort of full capacity with enrollment. I think all schools are working under limited budgets, and at least for us, we didn't have a tightly articulated external marketing budget, so it was involving the board for approval of that. There's always a little risk when you are saying, as a head of school to your boss, hey, whatever we need, $25,000, $50,000, $100,000 to do this project, you want to make sure that it yields tangible results. In a very in-depth fashion, we interviewed 4 separate firms, and when some firms were talking about what they would do, it was an act of taking things out and putting them on the coffee table. Mission Minded was talking about an intellectual process as opposed to a product. And I saw the founding partner of Mission Minded speak at a conference, and I was highly, highly impressed. We had been doing things like this on our own for years, and reading books and bringing in other speakers and going to conferences, and probably had made some progress on some areas, but never as dramatic as this last 6 to 8 months, where it's really been quite extraordinary. For us, it was a quite fun, joyful, happy, exploratory experience. I learned a lot about my school, and I understand it at a different level, and I really mean that honestly. One of the things we learned from Mission Minded was to push past features and to think about benefits. And at a school that's been around for almost 100 years, we had lots of traditions, lots of specialty words, special customs, all that were very much engineered in an artful way for children, but transmitting that to others became a little bit of a laundry list. And through Mission Minded, I think we have learned a little bit of some of the sort of values behind those traditions that give a much greater coherence to the package than we ever had before. Our trustees have loved this process, and I think it really empowered the trustees. It swelled their pride of the school. I think that they have some shiny new tools to use to describe it. It has clarified their thinking about the school as it has clarified my thinking about the school. I don't think there's any cynicism about it or feeling that we didn't get what we paid for. I think everyone feels that it was really a sort of a powerful moment in time for our school. We're further along than I thought we would be when we first contracted with Mission Minded. You know, in consultation with Mission Minded and using our own sense of what our culture is like, we're quite kind of careful and thoughtful in how we rolled it out. Again, a parallel processing. How you teach is important, and so how we introduce this with our culture was important, and clearly Mission Minded all along was inclusive of teachers. Another surprise is just how quickly we have embraced it. It didn't take long for people to start using it in all sorts of predictive and unpredictive ways, so the rollout with our internal community has been quite natural and easy, and I think at the heart of that is the words, phrases, and concepts that we introduced were words and phrases and concepts that existed here, but now we just have an efficient toolkit to talk about it. We've loved working with Mission Minded. I'd be so lucky if all of our interactions with consultants were good. Outside of any specifics, there's certain qualities that I would associate with Mission Minded: smart, hardworking, creative, and honest. And I think all of those in this branding work play a crucial role. You're doing something that maybe a lot of organizations have done, but it's a very intimate and a very personal experience for each school. And having experienced it, it's very clear that this is not a one-size-fits-all proposition, and that with very smart people who are doing the hard work, that it really is a fairly profound and joyous and insightful experience. I would also say, and I think I'm not just speaking for me, I'm speaking for my staff and the trustees at Crane, that I think everybody would say this was money tremendously well spent, that we are a smarter and a better school, and we understand ourselves better, and institutionally I think we would cite this as one of our huge successes.